Understood. Oh, poor you. I'm funny how? I'm funny like I'm a clown and amuse you? I make you laugh and amuse you? What do you mean funny how?
Stupid.
Thank you for joining us again for another episode of the Participation Trophy Podcast. This is episode 4. Again, I'm joined by Abdullah, Neil, and Zane. And this past weekend, our very own Jamal Smith entered the 40th birthday dimension. Welcome to 40, Jamal.
Oh, thanks, man.
Big 4-0.
Great. 40, man. I had a little identity crisis leading up to this shit.
Was that before or after you were in the shopping cart?
That's when it all hit me, when I was sitting in the shopping cart in the Wegmans parking lot.
You ever heard the famous Jim Jones line of Jay-Z? You
No, what's that?
You said 30s and you 20, but you 40, so who's 30?
But hey, you gotta let me know how it feels, man. I'm 1 year behind you. So.
You knocking on the door?
No, what's up, man?
I thought it would feel, I had a little, some moments leading up to it because, you hit a milestone. You're like, well, what, is everything right with my life? Have I hit certain achievements that I want to, career-wise or personal, what have you? But, look, man, I don't feel 40. I feel great. Aside from the bunion on my left toe and my left foot,
Jamal still hasn't signed up for overdraft protection on his bank account yet.
So look, I had a whole weekend of stuff planned, right? Friday through Sunday. And it was big for me to get out the house because I've been on strict lockdown since, COVID hit. Like, I haven't really gone anywhere. If I do some stuff, it's like I might come to your crib, but I'm going to sit like 50 feet away from your front door with a mask on, with a protective shield, with a body condom. Like, I don't fuck around with it, right? So
do you take a plant with you?
That's like a plant
with you when you go. Yeah, when you go out places, do you take different plants with you?
Man, I should, right? I should.
Wait. What's the backstory on this shopping cart? We're just gonna talk about you being on the shopping cart.
Oh no, my folks. Is that
what we're building up to right now?
My mom and my sister came up because I'm not having anybody in the crib, and they just we just hung out. We took pictures like out in the parking lot. It was a responsible distance thing. We had some space, and it was a thing. I just sometimes a motherfucker feel like getting in the shopping cart. You know what I'm saying?
What did you guys end up drinking?
I wasn't drunk. I was completely sober.
You were not drunk, and you were in the shopping cart.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm high off life, bro. High off life.
So that's what 40 is like. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's what you make it, man. Like I said, I don't feel 40. If anybody knows me, no, I don't dress.
My wife is planning a boat party for my 40.
Shit. Can I get on the list early?
You might.
Yeah. Hey, let's go. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, of course you will.
Shit.
Man. This is how extravagant she's expecting this to look like.
That's huge. So, you got another year for the world to return to normal. So you got to do it right.
There you go.
I might be right on the brink. of the end of COVID. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Whole weekend of stuff planned. Friday was chill. Saturday, I finally got a chance to go back to my favorite spa in Arlington. I got a massage and a facial. I'm gonna leave a break of silence right there for anybody who got jokes.
Or a soundbite coming.
Okay, cool.
Oh man, this is judgment free zone.
Yeah, went out to eat in Tyson's. It was the place called Bush and Barrel or Barrel and Bush, one of those two. It's in the Hyatt, I think, right kind of on the ground floor. Had some libations, and then the following morning, I'm getting up early in the morning and getting a text from my dog sitter saying, "Your dog's
dog sitter
not doing well."
That's when you know you made it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This is the most 40 fucking birthday story.
Listen, hear me out. My dog is turning 16 next month. There's no exaggeration. He turns 16.
What is that, like 1,000 in human years?
That's like my fucking Betty White plus Cicely Tyson.
That's 112 years.
Does she have?
What's that?
How many torn ligaments does she have?
Man, go ahead, man. She a little on the heavy side, but she had 6 kids, so she can fuck she want to do.
What kind of dog is it?
She's half lab, half Akita.
Okay.
But she looks like a corgi because she's kind of small. So anyway, lady's like, boom, like she's not leaving her crate, like she doesn't want to go outside, like she's barely walking, she's not eating, and she wasn't feeling well before I left, but I thought it would kind of blow over, right? Well, I came home, bro. She was throwing up on the floor, and just like it was just a mess, man. So,
Damn.
and it was so continuous. I ended up taking her to the vet, and
did she eat something?
I don't know, man. I think it was a virus. So
somebody fed us some grapes.
Some shit happened.
Dogs fucking hate grapes.
Well, my dog, she eats shit off the floor all the time, like anything she finds. And I got kids, right? So they can drop. It could have been an old fucking Slim Jim from 2 years ago. Like she found this shit and ate it. Because she knows no bounds when it comes to eating off the floor.
Oh, really?
So take her to the vet, and the way the vet set up is you park, you call them from outside, you park in a numbered space. They do your little check on the phone. Come get your dog from the car. You just sit in the lot. So you cannot go inside the office.
That's how my COVID test was.
So they took her inside, right? They did X-rays to make sure she had no intestinal blockage. They did blood work, all this shit. So they found out she had like a gallbladder issue, and plus like some liver enzyme was elevated. Long story short, $940 later. Yeah. She's coming back to the car with a bag full of medication and all this other stuff. So my other dog's at home. I get home and he flipped out because he couldn't go. I get home and I open the door and it smells like ass. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I know I clean up all this shit. Oh. This motherfucker shat in the house and then walked around in it.
All right.
He left little.
This might be, all right, listen.
No, you got dog.
This is the worst dog. Go ahead, finish your
story,
man. This shit is the worst story I ever heard, man. God damn.
So he left a little. I don't know if it was like a spite shit. Like, you didn't take me out the house, I'm gonna shit and fuck your day up even more. And then he threw up too. So I'm like, oh, so this is a virus that went between the both of them. Like they ate each other's food probably or some shit like that. Right. So my Saturday plans were shot. I was supposed to go out to Salamander Resort and some more shit that got killed. But I was able to salvage Monday, and I went out to, I did a photo shoot downtown. That was pretty chill. And, grabbed some food and made the most of it. So aside from the one day, from the Sunday, everything else was Gucci. So happy to be 40, happy to be in good health and spirits. And
amen, man.
Happy to be with y'all, handsome.
Damn. I'm happy to join you soon, man.
Joe,
you over 40,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Joe's 54.
I'm actually 62. I'm just reversing the Benjamin Button stuff.
Benjamin Button over here, yeah.
So did your dog do that stupid shit that dogs do where they drag their ass and like take that shit everywhere with them? You know what I'm talking about? Like when they do the dog scoot?
Yeah, he didn't do the scoot. What he did was he shat, like it was like a shit, like a racing stripe of shit on his ass in the fur. So it, like something just like kind of slipped out, and then he stepped in it.
It's
like that Jesus footprints poem is like the shit prints. That's what it was. So that's what I had in my house.
Well, at least he didn't get any shit. Is this when you on a scale of like 1 to 10? Is this the worst that your dogs have performed?
My oldest dog, yeah, but there's nothing worse than finding shit just kind of tucked away in your house somewhere. Yeah. So I've had a couple of those.
I'm the same to you. I don't have to drag my ass up here no more.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Jane's on point tonight.
Right, yeah, man.
Yo, so all right. Well, along that note, with your, I'm glad your dog is doing better.
Thanks.
Abdullah also reached a milestone this week.
Yo, I can't even top that shit story right now. I thought my life sucked, man. My daughter after 4 years decides that she wants to vacate her spot on our bed and move into her own bedroom for the first time. And so, it's literally been 4 years since I've cuddled with my wife.
Yeah. So we'll get back to the cuddling part. Let us know what triggered this. What got her out?
It might have been just the spirit of the moment where she realized, like, hey, I think she saw her cousin's Elsa bed set up for her in the new house, and it was kind of like, oh shit, I could have one of those all to myself. Like, what the fuck am I doing, right? Like, my dad's on the floor now. I'm literally on the floor like a house guest. Because she's been sleeping in that bed since damn near birth, and the motherfucker got older, so now she's 4.
You think that she had your feelings in mind when she did this?
I'm sorry?
You think that she had your feelings in mind when she did this, when she decided to do this?
I don't know.
I'm here to tell you, as the father of 4, I'm here to tell you, nah, she didn't.
Did she ever roll over in the bed and look down at you on the floor and say, shut the fuck up?
I'm here on the ground with my nose in it since the whole thing began.
She looks down at Abdullah like Iverson did at Ty Lue.
Yeah.
Steps right over him too.
Like hands him a cup, like put this away, motherfucker. Like
the only time she's faced me like up front like that off the bed is when I seen her like clinging off the fucking edge like Mufasa was.
Yeah.
She just happened to sleep, but she just rolled over a little too much.
Oh shit.
And it's like 4:15 in the morning. You just like oh, here she come.
Damn, son.
So did you celebrate the right way?
So.
And by that, of course, because I have nothing but respect for your wife, man.
No.
You guys like, hey, it's high five.
No, we did that, but otherwise she was tucked in between like 4 pillow wedges, like one on each side of like half her stomach. It's just it's wild, man. Yeah. 6.5 months in, second time around. So there it is, right there. Yep.
So the question is, what are you doing to prevent this second time around? Like, how will you ensure this does not happen again?
Here's what I've heard about the second kid, and both of you can attest to this. Please do.
Yeah.
I've heard that you're so invested in the first one that the second one, your investment in your time with them and their nurturing and their growth isn't as strong as it was the first time around. Meaning, it's just like, all right, is this motherfucker still breathing? All right, we're good.
Yeah, you're smarter.
So
as a second child, I can attest to this kind of parenting.
You got the.
There you go. You know, our resident tween, Neil DeLong, right?
Tween. Neil just went through this a year ago.
Yeah, right.
Exactly, right?
Oh my God, man.
Neil just got bed.
40.
So I think we'll be fine the second time around. This first time we were just super attached, and even when she left, I felt like my kid went off to college. Like that's how it kind of felt. Oh fuck! Like she ain't here. Ruined my whole night. I was like 3 2K games that night, man. Like, come back, baby. Come back. You sure you want to sleep in your big girl bed? You come back if you want.
So has she had her own?
So she came back, right? Say what?
Has she had her own room waiting for her for like the past month?
Her room is stacked. It's 2 doll houses.
Yeah. Well, maybe the dolls scared her. Did she have
houses and a loft bed? Like
no TV.
Next generation brown parenting. Where was this for me?
No TV. A TV in a 4-year-old's room?
Yeah, please.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
TV.
I didn't have a TV in my room my entire life until I moved out.
No TV.
All right, so let's just move on to another subject.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this, guys.
That's time something's coming back to your room.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll attest with Jamal. It does get easier the second time around as far as your expectations go. Yeah. But I think with the second one, being the youngest one, I'm sure this one is going to attach more to your wife than maybe Zara. And Zara will get closer to you, and then there will be some mix-ups, and then you'll go through all these other things, and then you'll figure out probably a couple years down the road here, like 2 or 3 years, you'll be like, hey, we'll like to do something on our own, and then get somewhat of your life back, which is why my wife now travels with me.
I was gonna say Zane's about to get somebody pregnant tonight, man.
What?
all this baby pregnancy talk. Man,
don't jinx me,
do it, man.
I want to deal with this.
I mean, he's gonna go out and talk about his 4-touchdown game with the Pokai jersey on.
Pokai jersey is dope, man.
Yeah.
I do like that one, man. Yeah. It's right up there. But and when you do travel, Abdullah, let me tell you, as a father of 4, you should do it with your wife without the kids. No matter how much you think you want to take the kids. Maggie came on the trip with me to Arizona this past weekend to go see the Washington football game, and it was good to get away. It was really fucking weird traveling by air and everybody in masks, and it just like everything you hate about the airport, you hate it more because you don't trust anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you had that same shit, Zane, but like I'm looking around, I'm pretty sure I judged every single person in that airport.
As you should.
At least 2 or 3 times. I mean, whether or not somebody had their face mask on right. The one dude who was just eating for the sake of not being able to put on the mask. Like you just start, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna sit 30 chairs away as opposed to like the 10 I normally would. But it was certainly interesting, the whole airport experience, and just being out on the West Coast, man. I hadn't been out there since 2018, I think, and it's just it's different, man. It's just different. It reminds you of how different Northern Virginia is from the rest of the fucking nation. Zane, I don't know if you have.
So Glendale, Arizona, right? That's where it was.
That's where So we stayed in Snobsdale, and
have you been to Arizona before?
Yes, I've been a couple times actually. So I've been to Camelback Mountain. I've done that. I did a Vegas trip from Tempe, Arizona. My friend had a spot. He went to Arizona State University. That's a fun story for another day. We took a trip up in July from Tempe, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the motherfucker told us in Flagstaff his air condition was broken in his car.
No, that's brutal.
Fucking kill him.
I don't do heat at all, so I always wonder how it would fare like in the Southwest for like a stay. Like I've connected through. I've been to Vegas, but I think I went. I think the weather's just reasonable. But that shit, like that 100 plus degree, like regular temperature shit. Fuck that. What was the weather like when you went? What was it like last weekend, Joe?
It was 104. It was 104 outside, and it's like everybody greets you with the same shit.
It's dry
heat.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give. Everybody says that.
I hear you. I've had family in Tucson, so I've frequented before. It's still hot as fuck. Don't get me wrong. 104 degrees is 104 fucking degrees.
Sure.
I just say humidity, man. Say humidity.
The humidity part of it. Trust, like there's ways to seek refuge a lot quicker from 104 degree temperature in Arizona than it'll be anywhere else.
So I like the little
little
mister thing they do everywhere, right? Like no matter what store you are, even if like you're the poorest store of poorest stores, you have a mister outside, and it's just like that little tinkle of water refreshes you as you're walking through that 105 sweltering sweaty ball heat. And you're greeted every morning with the same thing. Oh, it's 104 degrees outside, but it's a dry heat, and it doesn't fix it. It doesn't. It's still fucking hot as shit.
Whatever.
But very scenic, man. It reminds me of why I like Arizona so much. It's just it's a scenic place, a mix of people. I had a lot of fun.
The food. What did you eat out there?
So we ate some bougie steak. We just got plastered, man. We got plastered.
Are they hot about the green chilies in Arizona as they are in New Mexico?
I know New Mexico they are.
That's where they come from. So
thing, yeah. I think so. So Saturday was just about. I think we ordered some kebabs in room service, to be honest with you, because we got blasted at the pool. I mean, it was just a 12 hours of sitting outside and drinking Trulies and strawberry daiquiris and jumping in the pool. And then we ended up like commandeering like a corner of the pool and basically like created a party. There was nothing going on. Like people were hushed, like silently talking to each other at the adult pool. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So we brought out the little portable speaker, and we just started our own little party, and everybody just kind of gravitated over to our corner. Meanwhile, you got all these like crazy white people sitting in the other corner just looking at us like, oh, these heathens started up this game.
Look at them.
Trulies and strawberry margaritas, you said?
Daiquiris.
There's no way you didn't wake up with a fucking headache the next morning.
Yeah,
fuck the next morning like that later that night.
So I'm gonna put his name out there, but my cousin, God bless him, man. He's a fun dude, and he got slammed on Saturday. Then Maggie, she started ordering shots, and it just started going kind of sideways from there. We met some people from like California. We met some other people from Canada. It was just crazy, man. It was a crazy mix of people. So the food was good, man. The food was good. The thing you notice when you travel, especially out west, is the shit that they have out there that we don't have here. And my wife was excited to try the Del Taco. I've never had a fucking Del Taco.
Yeah.
Heard of a Del Taco?
Yeah, it's all over the West Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's their go-to shit. Yeah,
is that
it's like they're in and out of tacos. Like you go to fucking Del Taco.
Is that like a Whataburger?
Yeah, it's a chain.
Chain.
It's a regional chain basically.
Right.
Just like Midwest towards the West Coast are the only ones that where they exist.
You lived out there for a minute, right?
I've done a stint in LA. Yes, I have. Yeah. So, and then I have also a lot of just family that still lives out there. So I frequent it a lot. So In and Out, Carl's Jr., Del Taco. These are like the regional local chains that they prefer over a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a Taco Bell, basically.
Yeah. So then they have this grocery store called Sprout. I never heard of that. And then the shit that really kind of blew my mind was when you can buy bottles of liquor at Safeway.
Yeah.
That to me was just kind of like, all right, man. Like I would never move there for like life, but I'd visit the shit out of that place for the convenience of.
Well, CVS sells them in California, so
that's crazy.
Yeah, like
y'all are nodding like this is some normal shit to you. Like this was mind blowing to me.
I've purchased a bottle of tequila just like an aisle down from like the fucking Clear Eyes and shit. Like, or
I forgot the name of the grocery store out in LA, but I went to LA 2 summers ago. They had at the grocery store these bottles of liquor. So we were buying my fucking produce, and then you turn around and buy a bottle of vodka. Like just one stop shit.
In Kansas City, Missouri, it's like they got their own liquor store, part of the giant grocery store supermarket. They got it like the way you have like a flower shop on the side or something. They got a whole liquor store.
Nice.
I do like that.
Virginia need to catch up, man.
Do you guys have anything that you find other places?
I'm so glad you changed your background, by the way. I kept on wanting to say, stop talking so loud. You know, like you got people sleeping in your bed.
Oh, that's rich.
Do you like my scene now?
Yeah, I'm glad you changed it, man. Like,
very scenic.
I don't know who else can see this now, but so do you guys have anything that you fuck with when you leave town and they don't have it here, like a Jack in the Box or?
I'll say I've had friends from Cali, from the Bay, LA, that always say you all don't have real Mexican food in Northern Virginia, DC area. Like that shit that you eat is just bullshit. I'm like, it tastes alright to me, but I went out to Anaheim once and went to this place called, I think like Los Sanchez No. 5 or something like that, and got a motherfucking burrito. No bullshit. It was like the size of my forearm. It took me 2 days to eat that shit. And I was like, I'm a believer now. Like I get it. We don't have real shit on the East Coast. Right. So
what about you two, Abdullah? You miss what you listen to over here?
Yeah, I would say so. So Southern food, I've been to Austin, I've been to Memphis, I've been to Austin, San Antonio. So San Antonio, just the barbecue down there. I usually do the brisket, like just like the 5 slab combo. Yeah. Right? It's just all beef though, right?
Because they serve that shit on a sheet of paper, like a straight paper.
A sheet of paper. It's usually a sheet of paper on top of a paper plate or a styrofoam plate. And then the sides is just all over the place. It's like baked beans or whatever side you decide to get. It just kind of all slide onto one like large ass plate, $39.99. Feeds 2, but only 1's eaten. So, so that's kind of like what you're thrown at when you're in Texas specifically. So I miss that shit. Yeah. I miss the Riverwalk, man.
So I did Riverwalk once.
Yeah.
My trip to San Antonio. That was nice. San Antonio is nice.
It is nice. It's probably my favorite city in Texas, I would say. Austin's a close second.
I was gonna say
Austin's a party town. Yeah. Austin.
I did Houston last year, and that shit was dope.
Oh yeah, I know you fuck with Houston, man. Yeah, I fuck with Houston. So I went to Houston once for the what was it, the 2013 All-Star game. And it was kind of an in and out trip. So I really didn't get to see the city like that. I mean, I saw a fucking Chevrolet Cavalier station wagon on 24s, but
with like Skittles on the side and shit.
Skittles on the side of
Sour Patch Kids.
Yo, fuck with me, man. Like, don't tell me Houston, they won't put something on any type of car.
Houston's different, bro.
You got shoes. Different. Like you
Anybody
got shoes
listening, if you go to Houston, I ate a turkey leg hut. That shit was a motherfucking experience. That shit was that's what James Harden went the day after he left the bubble. That shit is incredible, bro.
Did you say turkey leg hut?
Turkey leg hut. That shit was the best motherfucking food. Bro, and it took like 2 hours to get in, but I wasn't even mad because it was like a They had a DJ spinning. It was like a whole fashion show. It was like
Is that like that? Is that like that shit you see at King's Dominion and the dudes walking around with them huge ass turkey legs? Like
that's their signature shit though. Yeah,
okay.
you can get that shit in like 12 different flavors. Drinks were incredible. I mean, it's one of the best spots in Houston for a reason.
I can't end the segment without asking you just one question. You've been to Atlanta.
Of course. Yeah.
You've been to
Freak
Gladys
Nick.
Nights.
You've been a Freak Nick?
You've been a Freak Nick?
That's what I thought.
I have not been to Gladys Nights, believe it or
You
not.
have not been to Gladys Nights.
Somebody's talking about the other. I have not been.
I'm highly disappointed in you.
But Atlanta, it costs like $12 to go to Atlanta. So I can.
But listen. I would have loved to have a fried chicken conversation with my man fucking Jamal. Like Gladys Nights. I almost asked the chef to come out so I can just like
that's
kiss
how
his
it's gonna
hand.
be sometimes.
Just kiss his hand a little bit. Like like this.
By the way, nobody else can say to me, I want to have a fried chicken conversation with you.
Yeah.
If my coworker said that shit, I'd be like, motherfucker, you gonna have to come see me, bro.
That's probably like the 9,000th time you've heard that from this group of guys, though.
Yeah, no, hello.
Oh,
all love.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Yo, so this leads to perfect. You gonna eat that?
Let's talk about it.
So let's talk about some shit. Jamal, I know you got opinions about food, man. So we're just gonna start with you because we know that it's just gonna roll downhill from here. Boneless wings, man. You gonna eat that?
No, not voluntarily. How about that? If I'm fucking starving or drunk, yes.
Or at gunpoint.
I think boneless wings are a fucking joke, and they get ridiculed, rightfully so, because it's stupid, yo.
Do we know where it started? Do we know who started boneless wings?
They probably started in the suburbs from some mom who thought that shit was cool. A complete waste.
So Zane and I are the Foster squad over here. That's why he's quiet as shit. Because Wing Wednesday was the fucking boneless wing day. But hey, listen, but I get you. I think the only exception could be Foster's probably. Because I'm a bone-in guy myself.
I mean, essentially they're just chicken tenders like shaped like balls, right? I mean, that's what it is. Like I love chicken tenders. I don't know.
And you love when they're shaped like
balls, yeah. I'm just a white meat kind of guy. I don't know. Like, if you give me a really good wing, I'll take that wing over a boneless, whatever, any day of the week. But I've just had some bad experiences. I don't know. I'm more like into like the Asian style, like banchan, triple fried jumps. Yeah. That's like my shit.
So I don't like buffalo. You were voluntarily ordering boneless wings, though.
I am.
So you know somebody. You're not just rip the cartilage and fucking.
Yeah, that's why.
Whatever off the bone.
It's too much work. Like I don't want to work. I've been working all fucking day. Now I gotta work. My hands get all messy. You gotta chew through the bristle and shit.
It's an art, man. It's an art.
Yeah, I'm that dude who leaves like half the meat on the motherfucking wing.
We just gotta fix your posture a little bit. That's all, man.
Abdullah, you put that thing in and
I've learned. So sometimes it gets hard, but I've generally been able to just kind of use my three fingers and just gotta get a good clench of the wing and just be able to just pull the skin and all the other bullshit in between along with the meat.
I already got fucking carpal tunnel. I gotta fucking hold that shit like an Xbox controller.
Yeah, just
what?
It becomes second nature.
For reference, boneless wings started in 2003, and restaurant chains like Buffalo Wild Wings have been carrying boneless wings since 2003.
Yeah, not surprising it started.
If you want a culprit, you can go to that corporate chain of Buffalo Wild Wings, which actually I think I've only been there twice.
I used to think that place was good, but man, I'm telling you, life is about growth because that is a shitty ass chain, man.
It is,
Jamal, where's your favorite wings? Like what's your go-to wing spot? Well, wing spot, like no pun intended, but wing spot. Is it a wing spot or is it something else, or is it a chain, or is it like a hole in the wall type place?
Wingstop is in there. I just saw a debate on Facebook the other day about Chinese wings, Chinese food, chicken wings. Like, I don't know how it is outside the DC area, but here, these motherfuckers they get down on some wings. It's a different gear, right? So
like the Koreans?
I'm just talking about like, just think of when I think 6 wings and French fries, 6 wings fried rice, like those big steroid motherfucking wings with the feathers still on them and shit.
Asians got the crazy shit.
From the hole in the wall Chinese.
Yeah, man. But their wings be on point, man. Yeah.
Hey, listen,
but I fuck with Bonchon too. Bonchon is on point.
I fuck with
Bonchon is on point.
I
But
like
Bonchon is they're expensive.
It is, but
They're expensive. And you like that heat version too, don't you? Abdullah?
no, I don't. No. I was gonna say
Soy
the heat
garlic,
version. Like I'll do. Yeah, soy garlic is perfect.
Yeah.
The spicy Bonchon wings are just unnecessary. Like they do not need to exist.
Right.
And
Like
I'm a
burger
spice
sauce.
guy. It's just it's unnecessary.
Wow.
But let me tell you, there's only one time. I've been to a speed date event where they were serving wings as like the appetizers.
That's just a bad idea.
Can you imagine like speed dating and you
Yo,
you guys,
what was this in fucking Landover?
No,
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who
no,
sponsored the event?
Sponsored this shit.
Yeah,
FedEx field of speed dating.
This is hilarious. This is one of these local community events that were being held by this particular student group. And they're like, all right, you know what? We're gonna do a speed date event. Okay, sure. But the logistics, like who decided like, yo, we should be eating wings in between meeting people for the first time, and you only got 30 seconds with them, right?
That's different, bro.
You got 30 seconds with them, and you got a whole bunch of front teeth just chalked up with chicken meat and
How are
you
you
got
doing?
buffalo sauce on the side of your lip. Like, come on, man. Like,
Your mustache. Yeah.
that's the worst, man. You ever see somebody who like they just ate pizza? Like, you just don't even want to talk to me. Like, yo, just
My son eats hot wings and don't wipe none of this shit. This motherfucker look like a clown, just like straight red shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? You enjoyed that shit, so you deserve to like rock your face like that.
Wait till it gets on the Nutella on toast or waffle tip.
You start getting breadcrumbs everywhere.
I may or may not have had peanut butter and Nutella for dinner tonight.
Yo, Nutella on a toddler's face is like removing Gorilla Glue off of like a. Yo, Nutella? You ever wipe Nutella off your son's face, Joe?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, man! Get the Clorox wipes out, man. Like,
Bro, you did.
I'll put some elbow into that.
You start off with the little thumb lick, and then you're like, oh shit, man.
Thumb lick not doing shit to Nutella on the top.
It's coming off on your thing. You guys fuck with any of the spicy chicken sandwiches? Like, I like Wendy's. Wendy's spicy chicken is probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, solid.
It used to be better though.
I agree.
This has been a long running thing. It used to be big. I don't know, man. It used to be bigger. It was like, now I get the shit. I open it. It's all disassembled. I got to put that shit back together. I can't fuck with it.
They don't really take care of their lettuce either. Their lettuce
exactly. It's all over the fucking place.
It's not crunchy. It's not that
lettuce
crunchy.
Like a fucking bath mat on your sandwich. Like,
So I've had the first time I had the Popeyes one, I liked it, but the second time I had it, I felt just disgusting. I felt like I just had sex with like an unclean woman or something like that. Like, it just made me feel nasty. I don't know.
Unclean.
Because that shit, because they like, yo, like Chick-fil-A's nice and like sanctified, like that shit's nice and it's the right amount of moisture. The bread's like symmetrical and shit. Popeye's like, motherfucker, just take the shit, all right? Just put the motherfucking thigh on the side. Just eat the motherfucker, all right?
And you gonna eat the pickles too, and the pickles are good as shit too, right?
That shit is kind of it's kind of soggy, bro. Like it's kind of
It's not.
So you know how I gauge a sandwich generally is by which sandwich I leave the tomato on. I'm very picky with my tomatoes.
I feel you. I feel you.
The Wendy's sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich, I cannot eat it without the tomato.
Without the tomato.
Is that weird?
I don't like tomato in any of my sandwiches.
No, I take it off as well.
But I'll take a tomato off of 8 out of 10 other sandwiches, but not this one. Is that weird?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't get the logic. Like, what's the logic? You gotta give me something else.
It's just the usually things like tomatoes and any other condiments are a complement to the actual food, right? Like the chicken sandwich. For me, the tomato is that specific compliment. Like that chicken fillet right there tastes money with this mayo and tomato on it.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
That's fantastic. Agree. So I know that's weird as shit, man. So I'm not with you on that one. But sticking with the spicy chicken, McDonald's got spicy chicken nuggets. I haven't tried them, nor will I ever try them. I don't know about y'all. Anybody else have any experience?
So I have a confession. I had some yesterday after we wrote up the notes for today's episode, and Here's the thing,
They wanted to
McDonald's.
transform.
Yeah, McDonald's new menu items have a ceiling because McDonald's is a fucking corporate machine. It's a McDonald's every 3/4 of a mile. This shit can't be anything better than just mid, and that's exactly what it was like. First of all, they like a little darker. So when I opened the box, I felt like I was about to eat some Mars like moon rocks and shit. Like they were just like these really dry ass like dark orange pebbles. I felt like,
Ooh.
and they were spicy, quote unquote. But of course, there wasn't anything. There's no real kick to them.
What's
So
the
it's
sauce? What's your normal sauce? What's your normal McDonald's dipping sauce?
I fuck with the buffalo sauce. I don't fuck with barbecue all the time. Buffalo sauce is my shit because it's a little spicier. It's a little different.
Okay.
People don't ever buy that shit. Like, I'm surprised they still sell it because I've never seen anybody else get it besides me. Sometimes when I ask for it, they're like, "Excuse me," and I have to. Oh, yeah, okay, buffalo sauce because it came out when they dropped the tenders, right?
Yeah.
So McDonald's spicy McNuggets, not a fan. Would not recommend.
You know what it is with just like you were saying about fast food, like these motherfuckers have no fresh ideas. They essentially have like 10 menu items, and then like once in a while we'll be like, okay, let's throw the nuggets on a sandwich and call it the McNugget sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Or let's make tenders out of the Big Mac meat, called the Big Mac nuggets or whatever the fuck it is. It's the same shit. Like the other day I saw Papa John's doing Papadias, and it's just a fucking pizza slice folded. Like, I just don't.
What are our expectations from McDonald's? Like,
I mean,
like,
it's just annoying. Like,
yeah.
It is.
But I guess it works.
now
they just rotate. They just rotate.
Not
that
really,
shit.
because then they go off the menu, so it doesn't work that well.
Did you say you like original McDonald's nuggets or not? Jamal?
Me?
They
Jamal.
serve a purpose. I don't enjoy anything on the McDonald's menu particularly.
Yeah.
So what's your go-to nugget then? What is your go-to nugget?
You can't take that McDonald's nugget home with you, man. It's not good. By the time you get it home, you
That
gotta
shit
get that
calcifies on the way.
Yeah.
you drop it.
It's got a fucking rigor mortis on there.
I don't have a go-to nugget, honestly. That shit it serves
Yeah.
a very specific purpose. When I'm drunk, that shit is like 5-star cuisine. But beyond that, I'm not really checking for nuggets in general. So I had to satisfy my curiosity and try the spicy nuggets. But it's
Nuggets is like my food I eat in the car. Like,
yeah,
let me knock
portable.
something out. Let me grab something. Yeah, exactly.
driving with your
So-
knees, eating a nugget.
So,
Yeah.
what do y'all think about Tyson dinosaur nuggets?
This motherfucker.
They serve a purpose.
Big dad energy right there, man.
You could, because if you bake them like to your preference, like put it on 450 for like 16 minutes, they come out real crispy.
Bro, the cook times are such bullshit on those, man. They tell you like
it is.
350 for 14 minutes. No, motherfucker, it's 400 for 20 minutes. Is
Well,
more
hold
like
up. Are Tyson's the ones that are like extra breaded? They're like the Nature's Valley of nuggets. You pick them up and fucking crumbs fall everywhere.
No, not
Okay.
these.
No, I'm mixing
Not
them up.
these. It might be great value. You talking about great value, Joan?
Chill, yeah. He's trying to blow my spot.
Oh no,
The
great
Carrefour?
value, great
Hey,
value.
look, man, I hadn't gotten paid yet, so it was just.
so what happened is
You
80
be hiding
nuggets for
your
$3.
You be hiding your great value shit when you got a woman over or something?
Like, what is that? I don't even know who bought this. Must have been the dog sitter.
Perfect.
bust out the Sam's Cola.
Perfect.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Man.
Yeah. Speaking of shitty things, anytime I get a chance to shit on pineapple pizza, I'm gonna do it. So I'll toss it up to you guys first, but then I've got some.
Ooh, I'm a
Fuck
big
pineapple
pineapple
pizza.
on pizza guy. I'm probably the only one on this that will fuck with pineapple on pizza.
Why? Explain
Yeah.
yourself. Make your case.
It's just so nice to not have something salty all the time. It's just something sweet, that little kick of something different.
Eat a
It's
fucking
not
lava
actually
cake,
done
man.
right.
Eat a fudge
What?
round.
Eat
Man.
a
What the
lava cake.
Get a lava cake, man.
A
Get a
fudge
cinnamon
round.
twist, man. What the-
All right, but then
Oh,
the
fuck
other
around.
reason is also those that, as a vegetarian, haha, make all your jokes. Yeah,
Oh.
it sucks.
Oh,
Listen,
explains
but-
a lot.
It just adds a little variety that you don't usually get otherwise.
Isn't the texture like real fucking like mushy and like
So ideally, it is a nice, crisp piece of cold pineapple or something like that.
on a warm pizza?
I don't want to talk about
I know. It's
Oh,
it's
God.
hard
Who the fuck's
to do.
making that
I
shit, Bobby
have
Flay?
one quick take. I have one quick take about pizza, and is that only meat deserves to be on pizza,
That's
with the exception, and y'all probably gonna hang up black olives. All right. So
Yeah, that's fine.
the Beef and black olives on a pizza, just stack that shit.
I'm a pizza conservative too, so I'm with you, man. I don't want fucking arugula on my shit and like spinach and like boiled
balsamic
chicken and
I don't want chicken on my pizza.
I don't want your cauliflower-based crust.
No.
I think pizza's super overrated, personally.
Oh, here we go. I knew that was coming.
All right, so
I knew that was coming.
We told Neil to explain himself. Go ahead, Zane. Go ahead.
It has a super low ceiling to me. Like
Sure.
the variance of like like for me it's and then here's a problem, right? You got 5 motherfuckers. This guy wants pineapple. This guy wants black olives and beef. Now you got 1/4 slice extra cheese, pineapple, and then another one with beef. It's just a fucking shit show.
But I feel like a lot of cooperation happens when it's time to order pizza. People tend to like coalesce on a 1 or 2 toppings. It's not like your motherfuckers are ordering like that veggie pizza that sits in the break room.
I'm too picky, and I'm a big meat
eater.
Eater.
That was the most supreme overanalysis of anything I've ever heard in my life. Like, because you have to put different toppings on it?
Okay, Mr. Tomato with the sandwich. If it's 48 degrees outside, if it's 64 and lower, then I don't get tomatoes on the sandwich. If it's a julienne cut tomato, then I take it off. But if it's
oh, you're killing me.
Yo, so if you're at a party and then everybody's like, yeah, let's get some pizza, and then the one guy says, can we get one with pineapple? What do you?
I'm usually not at a party with a bunch of 12-year-olds.
That's more my alley.
Basically, what Joe's asking is, how many fucking parties have you ruined with your fucking pineapple?
Yeah, exactly. I'm the one ordering the pasta from fucking Pizza Hut.
Oh my gosh.
And the boneless wings.
Yeah. I like
Neil, do you fuck with the vegetarian pizza?
Well, yeah, obviously I have to, but
that shit is a joke.
I'll tell you a throwback. Back in the day, Papa John's, they're kind of shitty pizza, but they would support, the local football team, and so they would do for every touchdown you get a topping, and if you get a win, they double the toppings.
Yeah.
So the Redskins are very, so-so math team for all these years. But I remember 2005, 2007 when they were kind of good. They had like a five touchdown game against the 49ers, and it couldn't port us a win. And I was just there thinking, I was like, ooh, we're going to get 10 toppings on pizza tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
Motherfucker order double sprouts.
Double sprouts, fucking parsnip.
Oh, that's disgusting. No, we would have to double up.
Jeez, man.
Oh, my God.
So
that double pineapple.
Double
pineapple? Oh, I would.
God. All right, pineapple and jalapeno is such a killer.
All right, it's getting worse.
Yeah. Cut him off. Cut his mic off.
Save, Joe. Save.
Back to the practice squad.
Very, very much so. Very much so. But we can stick with the theme of underperforming shit. And that will, in that sense, we'll go into the Washington football team showed up in Arizona this week. And, well, some of them did. Some of them got off the plane. Some of them didn't. The offense was broken.
Joe. Kyler Murray just scored again.
Did Troy Apke just get his ankles broken again?
Yeah, again.
So
go ahead.
That dude, he's fun to watch, man. I'd pay. There's not a lot of athletes that I'd pay money to watch these days. He's fun to watch. Like I would go back out and watch. He's playing like that playground football that you used to like. You got the turbo football, that one with all the edges on it that you can toss that thing 9,000 yards.
Fucking whistles when you throw it.
Yes. He was out there, and the crazy thing was, like, you go into this game, and I listened to some podcasts leading up to it, and everybody kept talking about his height. He didn't give a fuck that he was.
Was he like 5'10" tops?
At most.
I feel like he's kind of Earl Boykins-ing that a little bit. Like
it's extra cute because he looks like a little Martian. He's got that big ass little helmet.
He looks like those guys from Star Wars. What are they called?
5'10".
Ewoks?
Ewok, look at Ewok.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
When they did the wide shots, he looked tiny.
Holy shit.
But it's crazy because like when he's there in the huddle, he might be the smallest guy, but everybody like
he's got an arm, right? Like
he's the captain of that team. There is no doubt about that. Yeah. Like it's just a swag that he's got.
Right.
And they all think that anytime he has the ball.
That's him in the huddle.
His teammates just they know when he's got the ball that anything can happen. And so it was crazy because you saw like these Washington football team players, like these guys are big. I mean, Chase Young's a big guy. And they got their hands up and he's throwing around them, through them. the jukes that he put on Landon Collins and Troy Apke, that's just some next level like basketball. He looked like Iverson out there with the ball in his hand. But
how many yards did he rush for?
I don't have the total, but I think
that boy Neil. Tony
he had one touchdown called back off a stupid holding call. So
right, that was supposed to be his first rushing touchdown. So he said, "Okay, you're gonna take that one away. I'll do another one later in the quarter, just for good measure."
Yeah. So overall, as far as like the game goes, it was a dud. The football team's offense just didn't show up. Their offense.
So let's talk about their defense real quick. What happened? I mean, other than Kyler Murray being who he is,
so
they played a quarterback better than Carson Wentz.
Look, I'm not gonna
just break down that D line like.
No, so they pretty much did whatever they wanted to do on offense, with the exception of the few stops. And the thing is, like, if you remove the two biggest egregious Washington football team turnovers, which were on the punt return for Steven Sims, and then the Dwayne Haskins fumble. The Dwayne Haskins fumble, everybody's saying like he could have hit Steven Sims somewhere, but he literally had like 0.2 seconds to get rid of that ball. I mean, the minute he dropped back, he had pressure all around him. I mean, I guess you're supposed to tuck it and whatever, but if you take those two possessions back, you're still in the game somewhat. But because Arizona went down and capitalized on it, it just seemed like it was over. And I got to tell you, from the sideline, because we actually, for this game, we actually had access all the way to the front row. Arizona knew they were going to win that game before they walked into the locker room at halftime. That was kind of the way Larry Fitzgerald, I've seen him play a couple times now, and he's very serious on the field. Like, just has a very, very serious demeanor about him. Bro, in the second quarter, he was just like kind of yucking it up with Kyler. Like, I've got a picture of the two of them talking, and they knew going into half. And I think the Washington football team knew too, because they were down 20-0, but it was like a 20-0 that felt like a 40-0, because you knew that you were going to have to kind of keep pace with them, and they weren't able to. So the worst part about it is I think they lost their best offensive lineman for about 3 weeks, which isn't going to help their offensive line at all. It's already got trouble. But he wasn't the only person that got injured. So in the grand scheme of things, it was a mutiny Sunday, I believe is the word that was used by you guys.
A slew of injuries.
Are we going to chalk this week up to being 2020? I mean, this was bad.
Almost
like season-altering injuries here.
Yeah.
It's almost not surprising though, because you have week 2, and this is the first time that they're only having 1 week of recovery between games.
That's a good point.
When they had,
we also have had training camp.
We've been exactly, and
sure.
I totally agree. I think up until this past week, we were talking about how that lack of training camp time, practice, chemistry was affecting them just in the way they were playing on the field. But obviously now we're seeing it's taking an extra step, and we're talking about what? Saquon out for the season, Bosa out for the season,
Solomon Thomas,
McCaffrey out for 6 weeks.
Wait, Bosa's officially out for the whole season?
Yeah, he's
correct. Torn ACL for him and Solomon Thomas. That's the 49ers got absolutely demolished. Even Raheem Mostert, their running back, who's had 2 big plays in week 1 and week 2, is hurt as well.
Yeah,
Tyrod Taylor and Drew Lock got hurt.
Drew Lock got fucked up, man. I was watching that in real time. He got blasted. Yeah.
How bad is it?
He's
out for a few weeks, less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Drew Lock, the Drew Lock injury.
Yeah.
It's so bad they went out and signed Blake Bortles. That's how.
Oh wow!
How that dude keeps getting jobs somewhere, man. It's unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. But so the McCaffrey and the Saquon Barkley, man. The first thing that came to my mind was, dude, does that change fantasy drafts next year? Those guys went 1-2 in many drafts. Don't you start to get skeptical about these running backs and the taking them up at the top?
I started going away from that heavy RB strategy a couple of years ago, just because they're really maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 3-down backs in the NFL anyway. But yeah, I went wide receiver heavy in my fantasy draft just because, and I knew Saquon. I mean, full disclosure, Giants on my team. I knew he would get shit this year just because we have nothing else outside of him. Probably the smallest receiving core and a very, very, very shaky quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it fucked people up. The guy I played this week he lost. He had Bosa and McCaffrey. So
You play with defensive players.
yeah.
I've got one league that
Yeah, we
does
got
that.
individual defense players.
I've never been a fan of that.
I used to do it back in the day.
We didn't always do it, but we worked it in.
I like it better than the 2 quarterback.
Oh,
Two quarterback is bullshit. That's
no,
the pineapple
both
pizza
of them belong in the same. Yeah.
They're the pineapple pizza
Pizza.
fantasy league
Yeah.
setups.
Oh my.
Yeah. So it's the race to the bottom now for Trevor Lawrence. That's what everybody's getting there out now.
The Jaguars don't seem to want to tank.
Even the Giants?
Let me be real with you, man. I don't know if Daniel Jones is the answer. I know the offensive line's fucked up. I don't know. But nobody's passing on Trevor Lawrence.
Correct.
I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck.
Hold on, let's stay with this for a second here, because you know me, Washington football team over here. So I'm still not looking at Trevor Lawrence because I still believe in Haskins. I'm one of those crazy people, right? But you're already are Giants fans already giving up on Daniel?
I'm not speaking for Giants fans. There is some head scratching shit going on. Put it like this. And if we are here at week 2,
yeah.
God forbid this guy stinks it up. And I mean, granted, we got a first-year head coach and Joe Judge, and there's a lot of time ahead. But put it like this: I don't see him looking much better as the season goes on, especially with all this shit going on with the team. So I don't know.
Haskins and Daniel Jones are kind of in the same position, and why I'm still looking for Haskins to make improvements. I think if you look at both of those players, right? You have 2 players who are very young. You have 2 players who are working with new coaches, new offensive systems, right? You have both of those guys don't really have any go-to receivers. Dwayne's receivers are very young. I mean, McLaurin is the veteran on this team. Logan Thomas doesn't even play tight end. Right. I know they got Slayton, whatever his name is, on the Giants. Both of those teams have porous offensive lines. The Giants have a running game, but Daniel Jones is very turnover prone. Haskins isn't turnover prone, but he's also not as quick of a decision maker as Jones. So long story short, I mean, I would like to see both of those players get more time and see what they can do with some better skilled players around them and more time to be comfortable in their systems. But
nobody's got patience anymore, though, in any sports league.
Yeah, they don't, of course, yeah.
Well, I think that gets lost a lot by the Washington football team fans because Haskins, he hasn't even played a full season of football.
And both of them didn't have a real training camp. I mean,
right.
Haskins didn't have one either. So, I mean, it takes time. It takes repetitions. There's so much. A football play is like a symphony, right? Like everybody's got to run the right routes. The quarterback has to read it. He has to have time. And they're also young, so they're not really accustomed to running the show.
Yeah. Now, sticking with NFC East quarterbacks, Carson Wentz had a pretty terrible game. I'm so happy to see the Eagles at 0-2. Sorry to anybody that offends, but that's just my personal opinion. Did he get virtually booed?
Yeah, that joke was hilarious.
That was great. That was great. Philly knows their fans, man. That shit was fantastic.
Is there audio of that somewhere? How did I miss that?
It was all on.
I heard it live, so
I saw a tweet of it.
And it threw me off for a second. I'm like, wow, these fans are fucking crazy. And it's like,
imagine being a motherfucker behind the soundboard, like, damn, should I hit the boo button? No, I'm just, I'll wait.
Do you think he kept his job, or do you think someone said something about that?
I mean, that's Philly, man.
But I think a lot of these stadiums have really kind of personalized their audio, their crowd audio. Like they'll do certain chants. I think one of the stadiums said, "Ref, you suck," like some shit like that. Like
word.
Bullshit. Put me on a soundboard.
For real.
The funniest one was last night in the Raiders game. It was so off, like some crazy play would happen, and then 3 seconds later they put the crowd
super off. I remember that.
I like the Raiders. I like everything about that. I like everything. I like their new stadium. I love their colors. I like John Gruden's crazy ass.
You like the
John Gruden impressed me last night.
At halftime, they got the Killers to play Mr. Brightside down the strip.
Yeah, which I didn't understand why. I felt like that was a little bit inappropriate considering where. I'm not going to get into it, but Mandalay Bay. I mean, they were right next to that, and they got a band called the Killers.
Yeah. Good point.
Performing.
How in the world do we still have no answers from that?
Oh, well, let's not again.
You want the conspiracy theory answer or the?
I tossed it up there. Nobody took the bait, so I guess we'll just move on to other blunders. The Falcons onside kick, and that'll wrap up our week of football.
That had to be one of these.
Another game like that, man. The Falcons are the kings of that shit.
They were up 20-0 at the end of the first quarter.
No, but I mean, have we heard about the whereabouts of the special teams coach at this point? Because I get it that sometimes when you see other players doing certain things, you're inclined to do the same thing. So obviously the Cowboys are waiting for the ball to roll 10 yards, and the Falcons just instinctively started freezing too. They were just sitting around a bonfire.
This is my theory.
The ball,
all those guys up front, they're all supposed to be the quote unquote blockers, right? They probably, none of them were like, oh, what do we do? We're not supposed to usually do this. It's spinning like heck. It was a perfectly executed kick by Zerline. Really,
when you're the receiving team on a kickoff, there's no other objective but to recover the ball. Nothing else applies to you except for.
I don't know what the timeout situation was. I would assume that Atlanta had timeouts. As soon as you see it flat and not properly on the tee, you know how these more traditional onside kicks are. Burn a timeout, set it up.
It was just a good old fashioned
bad coaching. It's bad coaching. I mean, if the ball's not going past that 10 yards, the defense can touch it and not really be punished for it, and the receiving team is just waiting for it to pass by 10 yards. So, at that point, somebody just had to touch the ball.
The receiving team is not waiting for it to go 10 yards. The kicking team is.
Sorry, the kicking team. Sorry.
So the receiving team has no obligation to wait for shit.
Yeah.
They got one job, and that's get the
ball on the ball.
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity to make the Cowboys 0-2, and Atlanta fucks it up. Unbelievable.
Shout out to everyone who had Dak Prescott starting in their fantasy team. He had 1 point at halftime, finished with 40.
Unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Speaking of other teams that I'd like to see falter, the Lakers and the Nuggets, the NBA playoffs are in full swing. Both series are now 2-1 as of this podcast right now. The Nuggets just beat the Lakers. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
The Nuggets almost blundered a big 18-point lead in the fourth quarter because it was about, I want to say 17 with 10 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden it was single digits 5 minutes later. LeBron and them went on a tear, but Nuggets held on and hit a few timely buckets late.
Let's get a quick update from you guys. How you guys feeling about these two series, real quick?
Celtics Heat's great. It's everything we thought it was going to be, basically.
Yeah,
it's a great series. Their teams are so
well matched.
Well matched.
So well matched.
Gordon Hayward possibly the difference maker a little bit.
But that's the thing. It's going to be those guys, the Goran Dragics or Jason or actually Jaylen Brown. Tatum's going to get his, but. Guys
Gordon Hayward looking like an extra on Westworld, like he gets killed and reset every day. That fucking mustache, man.
Oh yeah.
Who's mustache?
They had that floating around.
Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
Yes.
And I said he looked like a dude who frames black dudes for murder in 1932.
Come on now, boy, get.
Come on now, boy, get. I saw you stew that moonshine.
Yeah. This car ain't stolen, is it?
I got shoes made from a black man's skin.
Yeah.
Walking in the saloon with them on.
Now, what's a boy like you doing with a car like this?
Will that series be over by the time we meet again?
Oh, the Miami. I have Boston winning. I've had Boston winning since the beginning. I'm still a believer in Boston.
Yes, you've been consistent on that.
In theory, there are at least 3 games before we meet again. So yeah, that series will be over.
So who we got? Let's wrap that one up.
So it's stars versus system, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Boston has basically 3 20-point scorers. Now Gordon Hayward's a 17-point scorer. They have four or five guards that can drive, shoot threes, and 3 or 4 of them can play defense. But I mean, you got to give credit to Spoelstra. Like Jamal said, he's milking the shit out of he has talent. Don't get me wrong, but these guys like Duncan Robinson and Hero, if they're not hitting threes, they're not really great defenders, and they're not really great at driving. So, I mean, it's going to be a chess match going forward.
For me,
and the Heat have Jamie Foxx. Right.
Yeah, and it comes down to grit for me. It's like I get it. Boston systematically is a better rounded team, well coached. I've just seen a lot of Jimmy Butler these playoffs, just showing some true grit, just feisty. Just willing this team to win, and they got the pieces to make it happen. enough to win.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
They're up 2-1 right now, so I'm leaning Miami. I think Miami's gonna pull it out, but I could very well see Boston win.
Jamal, what you got?
I don't want to make any predictions, man. I'm leaning Boston. It's just tough to call that series. I'm leaning Boston though, and I don't, I never bet against Braun, so.
All right, good. So it sounds to me like you're choosing Boston. Good job, Neil. What you got?
Yeah, I think Boston's gonna come back. I will change that. I bet you, Joe, we'll be talking about a Game 7 in our next pod. But I think Boston comes out of that.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Abdullah, I'm gonna be with you. I'm going with Jamie Foxx and the Miami Heat.
In 6.
In 6?
6.
I'm with you. I'll go with you. I'll put down on some of that. All right, the other series, Lakers Nuggets. I'm glad the Nuggets won today. I hope they bounce the Lakers. I don't care who I piss off.
That's not going to happen.
I'm really loving Anthony Davis. I'm really, really, really loving Anthony Davis. He's everything that I wanted him to become. Like, just like a stretch fucking 5-7 foot.
Yeah.
7'1",
90-inch
7'2".
wingspan. Just
did he call Kobe? Did he call Kobe on the shot, or did he call it as he was going back away?
I think it was after
the shot.
He was running back to
the. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. I'm sorry.
You really call Kobe?
Yeah, he said Kobe.
He
after
said it
the
running
shot.
back to the running back to the.
Well, they were in the Mama jerseys that night too. So.
He called it.
For someone who's not a 3-point shooter to take that shot with that confidence, also idiotic defense by the Plumlee brother. Oh my gosh. I don't know what in the world. He asked to run into the screen. He said, I make no effort to go around this screen at all.
The Plumlee brothers. It sounds like a terrible Netflix show. It's awful.
Oh my
awful.
God.
I want the Lakers out. I want the Nuggets.
But the NBA needs the Lakers to make the finals. That's
Lakers
the only.
Heat. No, Nuggets Heat sounds really intriguing to me. Like just
sounds terrible.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I think
terrible.
Lakers.
They got a
Lakers
lot of
are
money trying to make up.
I want the Heat to beat the Lakers. That's the perfect scenario for me.
Nuggets and Heat is Zane's Friday night.
You tell me it's the spicy chicken nuggets.
Exactly. Exactly. Nah, I mean, if the Lakers make it, the NBA has 2 built-in storylines, right? It's LeBron versus Pat Riley, and it's the Lakers versus Celtics.
Absolutely.
So it's in their best interest to have LeBron in the finals.
All right, fine, whatever. I'm still gonna root for the Nuggets.
Me too.
Perfect opportunity to move into it's time for theater, and we'll talk about some fantastic binge watching on Neil's behalf. Got all the way through Sopranos. Congratulations!
Proud of you.
Zane is
Very
watched this journey in real time.
I know.
It's exciting.
6 seasons flew by.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You're part of the family now. You get a tattoo. You're like Neil Soprano. Fantastic. He'd probably rather have you as a kid than AJ anyways, but Abdullah, maybe one time in the 2020s you'll get around to finishing that. Jamal, you give us an update on Lovecraft, and then there's a Social Dilemma on Netflix. So let's get through these 3 things here. Neil, let's start with you. Tell us about overall, you need to give us a 13-second elevator pitch on why everyone should watch Sopranos.
All right, so just for you, Abdullah. All right, Sopranos is a great show because you got all these great cast of characters, pictured pretty modern setting. You don't know what's coming, who's going, who's not. Sometimes you think, okay, this guy's done for, like no way he's coming back. Sometimes you think, oh, maybe there's some mercy, maybe not. So much good stuff happens along the way. Like Zane said, it got a little bit dark. Sixth season, some stuff went down. I myself, am the optimist, want to take the ending as saying, okay, everything happened kind of okay, well, but a lot of debates about what did or did not happen there. I know Zane's gonna school me on it right now.
No, I mean I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I know a lot of people had their thoughts on the show. I mean, it's this is a deeper discussion we want to go into later, but it's very rare that I've seen a show when it's live on air. I catch most of my shows after the fact.
Right.
So, and when you're watching on a week-to-week basis, I feel like maybe there's more criticism towards a single storyline or a single episode, right? As opposed to if you breeze through a series and binge watch it, it feels more like a movie, right? And the same thing with watching the ending. I had already had low expectation for the ending, and the ending, if anybody knows, is very open-ended, for lack of a better term. So, but overall, I'm not the kind of person who focuses on what happens at the end, and that's kind of weird. I really don't care about the ending of a show, which is really random,
Sure.
I know,
That is
but
different.
I'm more into the journey of the show.
On certain chicken sandwiches.
Exactly. Don't make sense. No, but for anybody listening, like, the great thing about The Sopranos, and Neil, maybe you can attest to this, it is a gritty crime drama, but it is the funniest show. It's the funniest show you will ever see, and it's not forced. It's like the writing is so good that it can go from being sad, it can go to being funny, it can go to being crude, and it kind of mixes all that together, and it has a very psychological aspect to it. So it's a very artistic show also. So next up for Neil is The Wire. So I'm very excited.
Hey, and this is what I was gonna say to tell you live on the podcast. I'm 8 episodes in on The Wire.
Wow.
Zane, he is courting you.
Wow.
Things we can believe in. I love it.
Neil, you need some kids in your life.
Oh, please.
It's
Don't make
boring,
the
man. I can crush episodes like it's
look.
somebody's business right now.
Bro, when COVID is over, these two clowns are gonna be going out looking for just tail everywhere, bro. These two are just gonna be like the Soprano Wire boys.
Me and Neil are gonna be at the Bing.
The Bing.
Abdullah looks so pissed off. This segment.
This is like daddy's home type shit. Like this the fucking stepfather comes in, like the real father comes in and just like destroys everything.
Jamal still ain't.
I was your stepdad this whole time, Neil.
Exactly. You can't be related to him.
They tricked me.
Well, congratulations, Neil. You get the Sopranos badge. We'll send that to you in the mail. It's a nice little.
There we go.
You get to wear on your jersey. Jamal, catch us up with Lovecraft, man. What's going on?
Yeah, real quick. Lovecraft episode 6 took place during the Korean War. We get to see a woman named Gia who popped up, a Korean woman who popped up in episode 2, very arbitrarily. We couldn't really place the context, but we know it was related to the main character, Tick, and his time serving in the war. She is this really interesting hybrid of a woman and a beast with 9 tails that kind of shoot out of all the orifices in her body.
Sounds like my
and
ex-wife.
her, yeah, she was summoned to basically have sex with men and steal their souls through the use of these tails. And when she latches on to these different parts of their body, their eyes and like everything, she steals their memories. So she has to steal the souls of 100 men in order to basically become a quote-unquote human again. Long story short, she comes across Tick. She falls in love with him. She sees his future, and it involves him dying possibly. That's the cliffhanger at the end. So it's pretty dope. This episode was a little polarizing. Some people really didn't fuck with it at all. I thought it was dope. I watched it a couple times. Very kind of macabre, almost like love story. But heavy, nice, nice visuals, nice cinematography. Like I said, very good cliffhanger. I'm seeing more and more in a general sense, people are getting into the show, but they seem really divided on it. So people either love that shit or like, I'm so fucking confused, I don't know what to do. And I don't know about y'all, but when people don't fuck with a show that you're really into, you take that shit kind of personal. Anybody else like that?
No, I mean, I think that's a good sign. I think art shouldn't be agreeable across the board, and I think it should be controversial. I think when you watch something that you don't really know how you feel about it, I think that's a sign that it's something creative, right?
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah.
Jamal.
Do you do this show? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Neil.
I would just say, if someone says, "Oh, I don't really like that show," I take that as a personal attack on my entire being, and I take that very personally.
Yeah, man. It's
like
you taking
not
a shot
everybody's
at my
gonna
taste.
get it though, right? Like that's the thing about something that might require a deeper level of
I
understanding.
get attached to these shows, and they become part of me.
Jamal, do you watch this with like a TV companion? Like, so when I play catch up with Game of Thrones, and Zane, this is a little bit to what you said about binge watching as opposed to watching it live. So with Game of Thrones, I did both because I binge watched all the way to season 8, and then I got to 8 and watched every episode, and I was so disappointed with what happened in that whole entire. Anyways, I digress and go through there. But do you like watch like with Reddit, or do you have like somewhere you go after the show to process what you just went through, and then that kind of helps form your opinions that week?
So for me, since I'm such a podcast person, there are 2 podcasts I listen to. One is officially backed by HBO and includes some of the show writers and producers. The other one's a fan podcast, and they really give 2 really good different points of view. So one is more of a recap. The HBO-based one is more historical context. So getting into the Easter eggs, and at the end of every episode, so they have, for example, the one for the episode that just aired Sunday, they had the main character, the female character that was on the show as a guest, and she talked all about, everything from her reading the script the first time to, getting on set one day. It's like, oh, you don't actually have any clothes today. You're just wearing a fucking merkin, right? And you got to, act these scenes out, and all this blood is going to be appearing. So good for both. Lovecraft, I feel like you absolutely have to get some type of companion, whether it be a podcast, a Facebook group, or whatever, Reddit board, because there's so many Easter eggs in the show. Tick was holding this one book, or, oh, you didn't see this mural behind so-and-so that tied into this, or this song actually meant this. This Gil Scott Heron poem tied into that. So it's very necessary in my opinion. And I think, so my process is I watch it the first time, listen to both podcasts, go back and watch it again. And it just kind of brings everything full circle.
That's dedication.
Yeah, but it's that good of a show though.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, then, as soon as you start doing your mafia mob movie binge watching, then I'm gonna come back and do Lovecraft, and then we'll exchange notes after that. Does that sound like
That's a bet. That's a
All
bet.
right. All right. I bet then. So I wish I could show. Never mind. We can't do the memes over top of a podcast. Anyways, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. There's 3 people who are up for detention this week. In the famous words of Mr. Belding, hey. Braun, Brawny, and Waffle House. Those are your 3 options for this week. And Brawny, I just want to preface this by saying, you're going to try pot. That's up to you. Just don't put that shit on social media, man. Don't.
Unnecessary.
The clout ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, especially when you got a dad like LeBron, probably is just going to come home and grill the shit out of him, right? But Braun's in a different category by himself this week.
Shame.
Braun might not be able to get to Brawny right now.
Let's. I'm gonna actually pass this directly off because I know Abdullah's got really big feelings on LeBron James and why the Participation Trophy podcast is perfect for him this week.
Look like he's stewing right now.
Hey, Abdullah, it's not a call. You gotta unmute yourself. We ain't at work.
So Maddie lost his voice. Oh shit.
Oh shit. All right.
He did the Zoom mute.
I'm gonna cut that. Listen. LeBron James. I'm gonna throw in that soundbite too. LeBron James. Listen, dude. It's more about what his fans kind of spark up more than LeBron himself. I mean, LeBron sometimes say some stupid shit, come off contrived or whatever.
16 votes. 16 votes.
Yeah, but like when his fans start bringing up like, oh, this is his, I took a personal moment, like the MJ moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, like let's stop it, because they're all, a lot of them were saying, oh, MJ did the same thing on The Last Dance. He called out Barkley and Malone. We're talking about 20 years after the fact, right? So it's just the stupid shit they say. It's kind of like, oh yeah, this is his moment, and dude ends up, taking 11 shots that next night. So, it's a moment for me to just go at all the LeBron cult.
Okay.
Is nobody else allowed to win the MVP? Like, is that what we're doing here? Is that the point? No one else can win. Like,
nobody else is allowed to win the MVP. No other team or player is allowed to initiate the boycott without alerting LeBron James that it's happening, so that he can feel like he was at the forefront of it. LeBron, he's just so contrived. Like, everything he says just seems like it's scripted, plotted by him and Maverick. What's his name? Maverick Carter or whatever.
Carter, yeah.
I like I said before, I love the things that he does. I just don't like the fact that he needs you to know about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the kind of thing. And from a technical standpoint, like, he has a top 5 player on his team, right? So just from that alone, like, what more do you want? He wants the most stacked team, right? He needs backup point guard, starting point guard. He needs all the role players. He needs this. He needs Chris Bosh. He needs Dwayne Wade. He needs Ray Allen. He needs this, but he also needs to win the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year, and win the title, and also let you know that he thinks he's better than Jordan. Blah blah blah. Right. So, I just
in a nutshell.
Yeah. I digress. I digress.
A LeBron James hate podcast could literally be 2 hours long in and of itself.
We would just have to break it up into chapters. There
I
would
don't
be
think
Cleveland Part 1, there would be Miami, there would be Cleveland Part 2, and then there would be LA. And LA
Jamal,
would be
what's your stance on LeBron? I feel like you're not.
Nah, you know what? Unpopular opinion, man. I'm not a LeBron hater, man. I'm not.
I know you're not.
And look, it's especially poignant now because LeBron has become the target of conservative media. So that makes me rally around him even more. Because I hate the fact that they turned this motherfucker into a Chinese caricature, and he called him out for dumb shit. Yeah. Fucking LA sheriff told him he's going, why don't you put up some fuck
Absolutely.
you. Like,
Colby Covington.
I'm not with it.
That's the only time I love this motherfucker is when fucking Clay Travis makes me love him. Like,
fuck Clay Travis, fuck Outkick, fuck Jason Whitlock, fuck all them. But I will say, if we do a LeBron hate podcast, I'll definitely participate in the first chapter because I couldn't stand that motherfucker in Cleveland, could not. But after that, nah.
You were okay with him in Miami?
I didn't. I was neutral, bro. Didn't care, man.
It was fine when he was in Miami because he was comfortable being the villain, right? Like he became villain LeBron James, and that felt like more natural, right? He was embracing it, right? But now it's like he wants to be the villain, but he wants you to love him at the same time.
I'm sorry, but like he went to Miami and basically typed in a fucking cheat code, man. That's like playing with somebody who knows the cheat code in the online game, or they know the Madden trick. Like, I mean, the whole decision thing. Like, man, fuck, you guys got short-term memories over here.
Well, no.
Just gonna let that go, huh?
So Jamal, I was gonna make a point. Go ahead.
The
point that you made about LeBron as kind of like a voice and the needle of the league, that goes without saying. And I think a lot of the things that like Zane particularly and Joe as well are alluding to is just LeBron as a figure in the NBA when you're looking at the entire landscape of a career, right? Sure. In terms of basketball related decisions and the way he went about them and our point of view, our perspective as fans, right? We talk about Kevin Durant going to Golden State. I take that shit super personal. I know Kevin Durant will never care. And Kevin Durant will always do what's best for, as he always says, Kevin Durant. But as a fan, right, when Oklahoma City blew that 3-1 lead to Golden State, and Golden State went on, bro, I'm sitting in my and I'm not gonna level my emotions to that of an NBA player, but as somebody who knows sports, right, I'm just like, yo, Durant, Westbrook come back next year. Y'all got these guys. 73-win team. You had them at elimination, and then he goes to Golden State. And for me as a fan, I'm just depleted at this point. I'm like, fuck.
It's kind of our generation too. Yeah, it's kind of our generation too.
It's absolutely our generation, right? So with LeBron, it was the same thing. It's more so decisions that revolved specifically his basketball career and the way he went about them.
Yeah, look, the LeBron James, the bio, right? The Netflix series. I'm all about it. Sure, the story, his story, period. In general, the things that he, being on the cover of Sports Illustrated at a young age, and then living up to and surpassing the hype, doing what he's done for Akron, doing what he did for his city, doing what he does for those kids, all his, all of that stuff. 100%, I'm behind it. But I'm talking about the basketball side of things. I'm talking about the dude who tapped Gilbert on the chest. I'm talking about like
those free throws.
I hated that era. I'm completely with you. I hated that. Just that era though.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to leave that for another.
Polarizing.
That's
no more LeBron.
That's good.
No more LeBron.
Now we know. At least now we know what we're gonna have to talk about next.
Yeah.
So that could be a whole podcast in itself. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us for so long today. We went a little bit longer, but hey, I'm not gonna cut off good conversation. I always enjoy a good evening with my buddies here. From myself, Jamal, Zane, Abdullah, Neil. That's a wrap on episode 4. Peace out.
Peace.
Deuces.